We're going to remove those negative N words. When I see the clients in my courses succumb to the small thinking and self-sabotage, it breaks my heart. It's time to stop the self-sabotage. It is time for us to lean into our greatness. There are certain words that we consistently say all the time. And even though we may not realize it, we are being negatively impacted by it. So because I literally love us for real, and because I have just finished the second accountability challenge for 2026, this video was designed because of the patterns that I keep seeing over and over and over, especially for women who are the ones who usually take my course, and the patterns in the words that they use. I could call it before you even say it. And so there are certain words that we tend to say every day that are ruining our lives, that are stifling us. And they tend to start with the same letter. And I want us to learn how to pivot from that, right? So today's video, I'm going to go over the words, right, that we need to change. And then we're going to go over the 3 ways to stop ourselves from being caught in this rut. Unfortunately, for many of us, for many Black women specifically, we choose to do it the hard way versus the easy way. And so in addition to my courses, there was this interview that I heard. So many times I have exactly what my courses are designed to do in my head, and the passion that I have behind it and the impact that I know it can make. But putting it into words and this, interview of this person explaining exactly what is in my head, it says everything that I want to say. It's exactly how I feel. And so I'm going to play this audio, and then we're going to get into the exact strategy on how we can get out of our own way. Yeah, get out of our own way is the best way to frame that. I'm going to quickly say an introduction. What's up, y'all? I am Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. I am a person who knows a thing or two about a thing or two, and I have recently decided to take this channel in a different direction. And it's all about those who want to live a bolder life, who want to get out of their own way, who understands that the monotony, the status quo, the falling in line attitude or mentality has gotten them not where they want it to be, right? I'm not going to say nowhere, but it hasn't gotten them to where they want to be. So on this channel, our baseline is bold, right? We don't start anywhere less than living a bold life. Over the past, 8 years, I have been a mindset coach, a motivation coach, a momentum coach, and a money coach. Not for any other reason, it's because I have trained in these areas for a very, very long time. I've been in this for a minute. And so let's get into the audio. If you're here and you like anything that you hear, go ahead, subscribe to the Kim with the Gems channel. If you are back again, let me say hi and welcome back. And I'm just going to leave our next course up on the screen. It's called Monetizing Your Maturity, and it will happen on April 30th at 8 p.m. It's a masterclass and an income lab, right? We're going to learn how to literally generate income starting the very next day. And for the overachievers, you can actually start after the course is over. I'll go into more to exactly what the course is about. But for now, you could, know it's up there. So this is the audio I'm going to play.
And other women, you have to be so in love with yourself. And yes, I'm using beauty as just one of the things, but it's like you have to deeply love yourself in order to withstand the criticism that will come to you. Because everybody will criticize you. Your family will, your friends will, your business associates will, the world will, social media will. We know that for sure. But you've got to be so in love with yourself that you turn and look at that criticism and say, why would they think that? And it has to be so foreign to you and so shocking that you cannot accept it. Because why would you? It doesn't make any sense. They must be crazy. And you have to get to that level. And so if you're not there, do it. That is the assignment.
Listen, when I tell you, she could not have been in my brain any more accurately as to exactly my life, and what I want for your life, right? I only do what I love to do. I only do things that will help other people. And one of those things is to get us all to know that we are better than the best we could even think of for ourselves or of ourselves. We are 10 times better than that. We have just been stuck in a rut. We have just been conditioned to believe that we're not. And I'll keep that simple. But listen, I'll use myself as an example. This wasn't even part of my notes, child, but let me just use myself as an example. When I was in college and I switched my major from political science, I just knew I was going to be the next Thurgood Marshall, right? um, I went to Howard University. I thought I was going to go to Howard University Law School and follow in his footsteps, so to speak. Long story short, I shifted over to the School of Communications because I fell in love with media. I had always been in love with media, from news reporting, all of that, but never really knew that that was a thing, right? Like that you can literally study and be trained in that area. When it was time for me to graduate and end up, getting a job, I was always told that moving back to New York would be the biggest mistake because it's the number one market in most media, from TV to radio, all the things, and that I would have to move to a small city, hone my chops, and then move to a big city. Now, I wanted to be on the business side of things. I didn't want to be, a reporter. I was always like analytical, money, all of those things, right? And so in my heart, I was like, I don't want to move to the small city. And it was always like, oh, you rather be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond. You can get ahead. Fast forward to today. That was the worst advice I was ever given. Thank goodness I didn't listen to it. I moved to New York because I believed in myself. I was like, well, why would I need to move to? I'm a bad bee. A bad bee. I'm smart. I'm kind, and I was impotent, child. So yeah, I always knew and believed in myself, and I will honor my parents, especially my mom, in that area, because if you think about it, what has been said about people of my hue, listen, I have an what no, let me be impeccable with my word. I have what people have been perceiving as an imperfection, right? This little mole right here, have been told to have it chopped off, right? Have been told that if I wanted to succeed and really get ahead and this and that, I would remove this mole. Child, once again, I'm a bad bee. I don't listen to people who tell me what I must do in order to get what I know is in my future or what I plan to get done. So hence, you see, the mole is still there. I had great examples. How Janet Jackson had a mole, Dorothy Dandridge has a mole, Nas has a mole. Like, I was not going to fall victim to other people's small thinking. And when I see the clients in my courses always succumb to the small thinking and self-sabotage, it breaks my heart. But that's what I'm here for, y'all. I'm your motivation mentor. But saying all that to say, I'm like, y'all are crazy. Like, y'all don't know who y'all are. Like, that's exactly how I feel, because I believe so much in us and our wisdom as we age and the opportunities, even in the midst of all the chaos happening. I 100% believe if most of us can just retrain that brain, then we can make it to the next level. We have to start with the stopping of the self-sabotaging, and we're going to get into what some of that looks like and the words that we consistently use that all start with the same letter. I've had great mentors, like everyone from Susan Taylor, oh my gosh, Iyanla Vanzant, that have not only validated what I already knew, but helped push me even further. And I want to be that. I want to pass that along, pass that on, because it is so important. It has always been important, but it's even more important now. So yeah, we talked about words. We talked about how we have been conditioned, and what we need to emphasize is that these patterns are becoming more common as we age. They're not being bold. We're not living in our boldness and in our beauty of being bold, right? And so the patterns become stronger, and we stop seeking out bigger things because we think we're in the second half of our lives, we're in the fourth quarter, or we're in the third quarter, and this and that. Once you start saying that, it will manifest. It will manifest. And especially the more you repeat it, right? So there are certain words. Let me just go through the list of words. If you take this monetize your maturity, you'll get the entire list. But let's just go through some of the words that we begin to say. And again, we're just focusing on one letter right now. We always talk about, oh, I could never do this. I could never do that. I will never do this. I will never do that. And these are things that you wanted to do. I will never go on a solo trip by myself. I wouldn't know what to do with myself, right? Because I wouldn't know what to do with myself. Or I will never be able to be a size 10 because I've always been a size 20 or whatever. Just things like that. We condition ourselves to think it's okay. And it's not, y'all. We really need to lean into the opposite of that. We need to find, and this would be part 2. So we need to find other ways to retrain our brain, right? So the word never, the word not, the word nothing, the words nowhere, the one, no one, like no one cares, nobody, no good, not enough, not worthy, not capable. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Well, it's about 30 words, let's just say. But again, you'll get the whole list, and you'll not only get the list, you'll get the replacement words, because what the strategy is going to be is to remove these words from our vocabulary. I told y'all in a couple of videos that I am a student of the 4 agreements, and I highly recommend this book to anyone and everyone. And you know what? Actually, during Monetize Your Maturity Masterclass and Income Lab, I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to do a giveaway. Depending on how many people sign up, I'm going to at least do one giveaway of the 4 agreements, because I think it should be read. Like people say, read the Bible. I also think you should read the 4 agreements, right? And I'm impeccable with my words, right? So I try to, whenever I say something that may be negative or may not be in alignment with progress, I go back and I correct myself. Because you have to retrain the brain, and what you put out there will come back, right? So it always starts with our language. Everything, well, not everything, but see, there I go again. But it does start with our language. The words that we default to will absolutely become our destiny, and the decisions that we make to get to that destiny. And we need to retrain our brain. And again, as we age, this becomes more and more commonplace because it's repetition. And so we're going to remove, not for me, I'm not ready, now is not the time. We're going to remove that. I don't care if you believe it, we're going to remove it. And that's not possible. If y'all look, so part of my boldness movement for 2026, if as long as I remember, I'm going to include a motivational quote in all of my videos, because I am going to make y'all believe in yourselves, right? I am going to force y'all to believe in yourselves. Whoever is part of the Gym Nation now, get ready. Y'all are going to look very different in a couple of months if you continue to implement. And the quote, I'm sorry, it only seems impossible until it's done. And that's by Madiba, aka President Nelson Mandela. And it's so true. Once, think about it. There are so many things I'm sure that you've done in your life. They may be on a big scale, they may be on a smaller scale, but you were like, oh, I could never do that. That just seems crazy. And then you go and do it, and you're like, what? What was I scared of? Why did I think I couldn't do that? And again, referring back to that audio, which is going to be, that video is going to be part of your assignment, right? I would prefer that you watch it before we meet on April 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you don't, it's going to be part of your assignment, because, and not only that, you'll have other videos, because we have to keep putting in new things that will help push out the old things, right? And so we're going to not only remove them from our vocabulary, we are going to replace or reframe what we say, right? So if you're saying, I can never do that, you're going to just change never to by this date, I will have my first house. So it will lean into whatever your goals are. If it's making, additional income, like we're going to talk about in the Monetize Your Maturity masterclass and income lab, then, it will be something like I could never be a millionaire. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not a millionaire yet, but by the end of 2026, I will be halfway there. And then we stop self-sabotaging and we go into reinforcement, right? And so we're going to remove those negative N words and we are going to replace or reframe them with affirmations. And it's retraining your brain to remove the negativity and reframe or replace with affirmations. Oh, another example, like if we always say, there's no way I could blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, no, no. I'm going to find a way. I will find a way to blah, 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 blah. Right. And then after you do that, it's time to respond and or react. Right. Because over here, we're all about that action. We are all about the action. And that is what is going to get you to the next level. So instead of having this big elephant of never, we're going to shrink that into easily digestible pieces that will make it seem more doable, right? And then there's a fourth part to it, but I don't know if y'all ready for that yet. I think I'm gonna do a whole separate video about that. But when it comes to responding and reaction, it's really literally going from the negative, replacing it with the affirmation, and then taking small, easily digestible steps to get you to that next space. I'll give another example. So I used to run when I was younger, right? Stopped for many, many years, got the knee pain, made the excuses, all the things. So not last year, 2024, I started again. And I started with people, and I may have shared this story before. And the people that I started with stopped, right? And I came up with I need a accountability partner. I'll never be able to do this without accountability. And then I reframed my brain. Well, I will be able to do this with or without accountability because my mama always told me what they eat don't make you ish. And accountability just may look different, right? And then I responded by finding runners clubs for women over a certain age, runners clubs for slow runners. And I just responded and I reacted by realizing that it's not just, a one way or a no way, right? It only seems impossible until it's done. And then guess what? I started in July, and then by September, I ran my first 5K that I had ran in a while. I shouldn't say that. I ran my first 5K event that I hadn't run in a while. But leading up to that, I had ran many 5Ks to practice, right? And again, it only seems impossible until it's done. And I'm actually about to go out and run another. I probably won't do 5K today. I'll probably do 3K maybe. But yeah, so saying all that to say, and I give options, right? So you're going to remove, you're going to replace and or reframe, and then you're going to respond and or react. When there's a never, you need to replace that with what will it take? Because how many things equal never? How many things in this world equal never if you don't try, right? If it's there's no way I can do that, you're going to change that to what is the way that this can get done? Like we literally have to reframe our brain and we have to love ourselves so much that those words become foreign to us. Anyone who says that to us, we're like, homegirl said, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all crazy. Y'all dumb? Is y'all dumb? Like, so yeah. So I want us to hone into these areas because you don't need a new life, right? You don't need to create a whole new life. You just need new patterns. You need new ways to foster the positive that will get rid of the negative. And I'm going to tell y'all, like this shifting into this new conversation online, there was some hesitancy because I'm so tired. I don't like hearing the lack of confidence that this world has generated for us. If we really knew our strengths and our power, good Lord, like we would. But that's another story for another day. But for easily digestible steps, right? Easily digestible pieces, I want us to start here. So rather you take the Monetize Your Maturity Masterclass and Profit Lab, and congratulations to the ones who signed up already and took advantage and are taking advantage of the discount. I promise you, I had to have a long conversation with God about the pricing, because as somebody who's, been doing this for a minute, and prior to doing this, I've been in sales for a very long time. I know that the lower the price, the lower the likelihood that people will attend and or do. And that weighs on me, because I want us to win. I want us to succeed. I don't want you to just buy the course and not, do it. And so this is a fraction of what I even charge for my hourly consultation rate. And this is over 2 hours. We're going to be together. I wanted to share everything that you're getting as part of the Monetize Your Maturity Masterclass that's taking place on April 30th. Understand that I will do this, and if it works, then great. If it doesn't, then we'll go back to, a more selective model, because I want us to win. Not only are you getting the actual course that will take place on April 30th at 8 p.m. For the first 5 people who register, I am gifting you what would be the part B to this. And it was one of the courses that we held on March 1st. It's called the Slay Your 2026 Social Media 28-Day Blueprint. So I gave you all the gems on how, if you're interested in monetizing your maturity, and social media would be a great support with that, this is the framework to get you there. That in and of itself is $150 savings. It's on my my sales page right now. It's $150, right? But if you register for, and that's the replays that you get for $150. If you register for the Monetize Your Maturity, and you're one of the first 5 people, the first 5 registrants will get the full replay. The next 5 registrants will get the slot, the presentation. You won't get the full replay. And again, I'm keeping these classes small too. So that's the other thing. This is not like 100 people in the class, because of all of the deliverables, everything that you're going to get. So, and know that the replay is not a bonus set aside that you're going to set aside. It's going to provide actual exact next steps and real world strategies to grow on your social media platforms exponentially. And it's backed by multiple examples. This is the framework I use. This is how I'm growing. I will share my back end information for my even new channel that I launched this year. But if you're over 40, and listen, if you're under 40 and you like what I'm saying, feel free to join. But this is set up and created because many of us get stuck and we stop once we start aging. So if you're ready to turn your decades of experience into real income, y'all all have it. Y'all all have it. And I get so sick of y'all second guessing yourselves. Then this session was built for you. You will walk away with 2 personalized income paths that you can act on right away. Now I'm saying 2, but the only way I'm going to get you to what I need. So you'll get as soon as you register, you get a pre-session questionnaire. And so check your emails for that. And those are the questions answered that I'm going to need from you to help you design the 2 income paths that you should lean into immediately, right? You will be able to get to business the very next day, and I will explain how. And like I said, for you overachievers, you can start after the course. Like, it's just that simple. So it's what you're getting. It's a 2.5-hour live personalized income lab where your wisdom becomes your wealth strategy. And stop thinking that wealth means you have to be a billionaire, right? We are retraining our brain. I go over the definition of wealth, and many of y'all are scared of the word wealth, which is a simple, you know what, let me just do it right here for y'all, because okay, here we go. Wealth is the abundance of valuable financial assets. I'm just going to leave it there. physical possessions or resources that hold economic utility and can be converted into transactions, right? And so that basic definition alone, should have you less fearful about the word wealth, right? It's an abundance of valuable financial assets. Y'all sitting, reading the Bible, and not taking away some of the most crucial parts, right? Told you one of my North Stars is the parable of the talents. God wants us to be abundant. He wants us to live in abundance. And abundance is another word we could break down, because y'all know I like breaking down words so people can, easily digest what I'm talking about. But abundance is having more than you. You're not scrimping and scraping, right? And holding a resource. You have a resource that holds economic utility. That's a whole nother area we could break down later. Those of you who've taken or are part of the RAIN Society or of the Maximize Assets, Grow Abundance, and we might have even talked about this in the high probability trading only course. But again, we need to stop stressing these words and having them instill fear in us and retrain our brain to start embracing some of these words and what it can mean, not only for us, but our families, right? So getting back to what else is included. This is for anyone over 40 who understands where we are heading, i.e. navigating job loss, unemployment or underemployment, inflation, and if you're ready to what I call future-proof your income, because y'all can act like we got all the time in the world, but your girl knows better, right? And then it's going to be on a Zoom live. You will get the link sent 24 to 48 hours before we meet. And the early bird special, under $100. The registration is $149 after the first 5 people. So if you're part of the first 5, not only do you get it for $99, and I don't know where we are today. So let's just say this: if you sign up today, even if you're not part of the first 5, because today is, what's today? Monday, right? If you're not part of the first 5, I will honor the $99. But if by the end of today you don't sign up and we're over the 5, then the price goes up and you don't get the full replay for the Slayer social media framework in 28 days. So that's what you get. I just know so many people, and some of y'all know my background and where I worked for 20 years, right? I have been gainfully self-employed since 2018. Again, I just wanted to come in and get us to stop the self-sabotage, learn how to fix our life with 3 simple steps. And if you recall, the 3 simple steps is removing that negative BS that we tell ourselves every day. Fall in love with yourself if you're not already. I am in love with myself, child. Now, do I want to lose a couple lbs before bathing suit season? Absolutely. But I'm gonna be in a bathing suit regardless. I love myself. And I want that for us. There's so many things that have me leaning into this moment right now. And I want you to join me. Again, I'm going to try to make my visuals so much easier, even if it's not with me. Y'all, lean into your greatness, please. Please find you somebody who's going to be your cheerleader. I wasn't a cheerleader in high school. In the normal sense of the word, but as a big grown adult, anyone who's taken any of my courses, I'm the biggest cheerleader. I show up on time. I am there late into the midnight hour. Let's step into our greatness. And this is our year of boldness. This is our year of boldness being the baseline, meaning there is literally nothing, you can't go below being bold. You can only elevate from being bold, right? And we're going to lean into the wisdom. These gray hairs, listen, these gray hairs, which there are many more, but I, did a little magic because I have to do something later. But tomorrow you may see the gray hairs again. These gray hairs were earned, right? These gray hairs represent wisdom at all different levels. And let's just lean into that, and let's not let what is going to occur happen to us, right? We're going to be prepared. We're going to be prepared for the increased prices. We're going to know how to generate income to offset whatever those, extra costs may be. We're going to be about that action. So with that being said, I thank you for tuning in. I will see everyone on the next video. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section, and I'll see you soon.